Intro. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chorus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chorus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chorus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bridge 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Sunday School, Sunday Skoolin, where the production quality is low, but the Lord is on high. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that. So this is just me working out this song for tomorrow for Sunday. Sloppy as always, and still working some stuff out. Probably did a little too much inflections in the wrong places. But let's just go over the effects and kind of the parts and what I'm doing. So in prime tracks, you can't see it unless I move myself. Maybe I'll try to move myself. You can't see it there. There are 4 guitar tracks in this song. I'm playing track 3 for the most part. There are some portions in the song where there's nothing happening for track 3, like that swell I did here in the first verse. The chorus part here is actually guitar 1, which I'm not muting. I'm leaving guitar 1 in the track. I'm only muting guitar 3, which is the leads that I'm playing and everything. And so guitar 1, I'm playing kind of doubled here, which it'll work in the mix on Sunday. It's a pretty light part. And then verse 2, same thing. It's a little more prominent, but it's that, it's that part that... I'll cover the parts in a minute. And then for this first chorus, there's nothing on guitar 3's track in prime, but I'm playing the vocal tie from the recording, where I'm just kind of playing with the vocals, start singing. And then for the chorus here, this second chorus here, the third chorus, I'm doing with the vocal tie. The second chorus, I'm just doing some chords. I'm playing the chords more or less. And I'll talk about pickups and all that later. And then down bridge, there's nothing. This bridge, there's octaves. And then this bridge, last bridge and chorus, there's like that cool lead stuff that I was doing. So for effects, it's just an always on plate on my flint here. I'm realizing now that there's stuff on the screen. On the flint here, there is just that simple plate that I'm doing that I kind of leave as like an always on thing. And then I have just a very light quarter note delay. I don't know if you can hear that in the room. Pretty light. And then the overdrives are my stage 1. So it's really my stage 2 a lot. And then I'm stacking that into my stage 1, my light speed. That's kind of like the lead tone that I'm going with. And then when I need a little extra sauce, I add the kilt in. So it's Moxie into light speed, and then into that stacked into the kilt. Right, those are the tones. And I'm also using an octave up in the beginning. You could play the octave up part. I was playing just one note. You could play it with actual octaves. I usually do this because it's less buttons to press on Sunday on a set. Right, you could just do that, but I'm trying to I could hear in the track that they're probably using an octave pedal, so I wanted to try to keep it true to that, and it has a different sound to it, so I was just going for that. Those are the effects for this song. Pretty basic and straightforward. It's just like your little light quarter note delay that's going to be on most of the time, your plate reverb, your overdrive stages building appropriately, and then for the one section I do this So this is just a light cloud and a medium cloud. I use the medium cloud once for that swell, and I just use this light cloud for that one section. So just going in order for the parts, right? The intro right here is going to be your octave up. It's just a 1 octave up, just like if you were, not playing one note, but adding an octave above it. Right? So instead of it sounding like this, it sounds like this. And I'm just doing that with an effect pedal, so I can play one note, and then my my main lead tone, which is those 2 overdrives, tube screamer kind of thing stacked into a light speed. I use this pedal different than a tube screamer though. This Moxie, I have the mid switch kind of off, so it's not really like a tube screamer. So I'll just play, it's D, B, C sharp, D, A. I kind of do that little. If you know theory at all, if you don't, you should, and that's part of the goal of this channel, is that's, if we're in D major, that's just the first and second notes of the scale, and that is like your blue note, that note that I'm adding. D is your first note of your scale, E is your second, F sharp is your third, and in between your second and third notes, your E and your F sharp, or your 7 and 9. So you'll hear that all over these recordings, that note, that like passing tone. Alright, I'm not trying to just jam, but I want you to just kind of get your head around that theory. I'm playing just all the different, I'm just connecting all the pentatonic scales, guys. It's just, if we're in D, you probably know your B minor pentatonic scale, right? The B minor is the 6th note in the D major scale. That means that B minor is the relative minor of D major. Right, so that's, I'm just connecting, that's one, if you don't know your pentatonic connections or your inversions, you really need to. I messed up. Right, so what I'm doing is, and this is like how I'm spending so much time on this because all the leads at the end are just that. They land on chord tones, and that's important to know. You could just get by though by knowing how to connect, just knowing your notes and knowing in a D major pentatonic scale, you've got D, E, F sharp, A, B. And you can just always use that little note in between the second and third scale degrees, your E and your F sharp. Everywhere that you hear this, that's just the second and third scale degrees of your major pentatonic. So that's all I'm thinking of, and you're just connecting stuff like that. So learn your pentatonic connections and use that little blue note there, and it'll really help. Think notes, learn the notes. I like to think just in whatever the major is. So if I'm in B minor, I'm still thinking 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay. Back into the parts. That's all. That explanation is going to help at the very end with the bridge and chorus leads. So over we talked about the intro. Over the first verse, I don't do much of anything. I just do a little swell on the 1, which is D major. It's this little, if you know your D bar chord with the root on the E string, that's actually your E shape. If you know your cage system, which I'm not going to talk about that, it's just the upper notes of that. Right. Okay, and then for the chorus section here, all I'm doing is I'm playing. This is on the track too. I forget. I think this might be tracks 2 and 4. It's not in the Electric 3 track, I don't think. But all they're doing is they're outlining the chords, which you're in D major, so they're playing the 3, 4. So that would be, if you're it would be 1 over 3, D major or F sharp. So this is, you know, your D major bar chord with the root on the A string. It's the same thing. You just take those upper notes and you just play the third note in the bass. So you have, this is your D major chord in root position. 1, first note of the scale. 2, third note of the scale. And then look. Doing the same thing. And you can hammer it on to make it sound real cool. And I use, for this section, I use my position 2 pickup. I think that's what it is. The one right above the bridge pickup. The one next one up. And then it goes 6, 5. You can make it suspended if you want. And then it's major 2 chord with non-diatonic to the 5, which is A. That major 2 chord is E major. The E chord would normally be minor in D, but what I'm doing is that same chord voicing for the 1/3, where I had my D major chord, and I just went up, kept these same notes here, and just did a hammer on. Well, now this is D, E flat or D sharp, and then E. I'm playing, instead of an E minor, which is what you normally have, you're playing E major. So it's the same exact shape as the D. And I'm just doing it, the same exact thing, that hammer on, to the 5 chord, the A. It's the C shape A chord. Right, so far we have 3, 4, 6, 5. Right, so B minor A, 3, 4 again, 1/3, to your G, which is your 4 chord, major 2, 5, 3, 4, 6, 5 again. Now you have your minor 2, which is your E minor. I'm sorry, 3, so you're 3. So that last section of the chords is going to be 1/3, which is like it always starts on the 3. And instead of going to the 3, 4, it goes 3, 2 minor. And then your major 2 again to the 5 again. And then that's your first chorus here. This verse here, like I said, is just it's just using double stops basically. It's the same chords. It's actually different chords. I'm sorry. I'm giving a terrible lesson here. So your verse is 3, 4, 6, 5. I'm sorry. I'm talking about this chorus. I'm messing this all up. I'm gonna have to redo this video, guys. But let's just try to get it posted, right? So your chorus chords, which I just showed you, the first time through, I do double stops. E minor, your 2 minor, 2 major 5. That's the first time the chorus is through. Then we're on this second verse. The second verse is just, the chords here I believe are, it's 6, 4, 1. So B minor, G, D major, and you're just playing this for those 3 chords. With your light cloud on. No delay, I don't think I use a delay. And then after that, those 3 chords, then it comes to your G sus2, and that's where you see this middle finger come on. And then your G sus2, which is your 4 sus2, and then your A chord, your 5. That's just your 1 chord, I believe. Alright, sorry, I'm just learning this song. And then, so that's your verse. The first time through it does that. Then the second time through it just does that same thing but without that. And I'm on that same pickup, the one right above the bridge, position 2 I believe it is. That's when you get into those chords I was just showing you. Now, instead of playing double stops like the first time through, you're playing the actual hammer-on stuff I was showing you. Two minor. Now, to come into this next chorus, after you hit that A chord, that 5 chord, still on that second pickup, I would have turned that cloud off for the chorus. After that last time through the second chorus here, you're gonna play an A major scale, just walked up, starting on A here. And now you're tying with the vocal melody. Switch to your neck pickup, your bridge pickup rather. Alright. So basically, just to reiterate, what happens is the first chorus through, if I can get you like my pickup selector. The first chorus through, you're just doing without that cloud on, just like your room reverb. Just your room reverb is on. Okay? And then the last time through that end of that second chorus, you're on this second pickup still. Kick on this Moxie. And somewhere in there, click your bridge pickup on, so you get that lead tone. And now you're tying with the vocal. And that's just your pentatonic scale. Again, it's your first scale degree, your second scale degree, D, E, and F sharp. Right, if this is your minor pentatonic shape, your 1 is right here on your G string. And then A. You're just doing stuff like that. Coming into the down bridge, you're quiet. And then when you come into the actual bridge, I kick on like my lead tone, fade in a nice octave, so it's just your room reverb, like your plate, lead tone on D. You saw it in the video. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but basically over the chords, it's 6, the 6th chord for the bridge, 7, 1. And then the chords go 3, 4, but you just stay on the D. And it goes 6, 5. And I don't think you play this until the 5 chord. And then you do the same thing, only the last time you don't do that slide up to the F sharp, it just... Alright, now for the lead part, what you're doing is, I believe I kick on my kilt here, and you're just going to... I'll leave that off for a second. You're just going to walk up the major scale, the A major scale again. I'm still working on my bends, and so this is one of the lessons. One of the things I want to talk about is I wouldn't be posting this stuff. Obviously, it's very disjointed and far from perfect, but the goal is just to get better, to record progress, and we just keep pushing through and we get better. So, the walk up here, A major scale. You can bend or just slide. To D. So you're just playing in your, this is like your second pentatonic position. A, G, F sharp, D, and I messed this up, but B, A, B, C sharp, D. Chord progression starts again, and you land on that 6th chord, that B minor, like this. All the same notes, guys. It's just minor pentatonic, but they're putting the 7th scale degree. Okay, so after you do that, you can see this, it starts to like, it's building kind of, it drops out, and then this is where that guitar comes in with it. And all that is it's just the top of your one pentatonic position. So in D major, all you're doing is you're doing your top of your pentatonic scale. So A to B. So it's A, B, D, A, or 10, 12, 10, 10. Whole step bend. You land on the 1 there, which I believe is the 3rd of the chord play, the 6th chord. And then it's back into this stuff, but over the chorus now. Very similar to what I was doing over this chorus, just kind of tying with the vocal. And then there's this little run where it starts on the B, on the 6th scale degree. They're just playing the scale up. B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, and then they land on the G. And then it's like this down chorus type thing. No instruments are playing, and then the singers come back in. The track doesn't do anything, but I tie again. You are worthy. Alright, this has been a terrible video, guys. Maybe I'll try to re-upload it, but time is precious, and that's the whole goal with this channel is I don't have time, you don't have time. Just trying to upload stuff, record progress, help us get ready for Sunday, understand how to play against these tracks in prime. I would pick Electric 3 if I was you guys. Do what I just kind of did, something similar. Mute track 3 so there's not a bunch of extra noise in the room. Yeah, and then just lightly fill in with some of the other parts where Electric 3 isn't playing. Love you guys. Have a good day. Be blessed. Take care.